Hey guys, welcome back to Daniel Rosehill Plus here on YouTube. My name is Daniel Rosehill. This is a YouTube channel in addition to my main YouTube channel where I talk about pretty much whatever comes to mind on a given day. And today I want to do a quick show and tell on a bit of gear that I've picked up for dealing with sound sensitivity. Now, I don't really have a better term for this than that. I'm going to talk at the outset about what it is that I experience with sound and why therefore I've picked up these various things for that purpose. So I call it sound sensitivity, but I've also heard some people talk about misophonia, but I think that's more like people who really get irritated by specific sounds, although I certainly have some of that as well. For me, it's kind of when I'm trying to concentrate or focus on work. I will find sound very distracting, particularly people having concentration conversations. And something that I've kind of just come to realize over years of dealing with this is it's like a filtering issue that most people don't have. If I go to a restaurant and there's music with lyrics, I kind of automatically tune into that lyrics, which is very difficult when you're trying to have a conversation with someone and you've got like the conversation and you've got the lyrics that you're kind of subconsciously tuning into. So I've heard it described as sensory processing disorder, sensory integration disorder, misophonia, and I know that it's something that is seen a lot in ADHD, depression, anxiety, and also in folks with autism. So I think that for people with various sort of neurodivergent brains, that this is something that they experience. So over the years, I've had to make some sort of adaptations in order to basically get my job done. So if I'm working I used to work in an open office, which was extremely challenging. And my job was like writing these really long white papers for marketing purposes about very technical stuff. It was to do with IoT radio networks. And there was just no way I could get the concentration needed to do that job well while there was like 4 salespeople in the room doing cold calling for hours. So initially I stocked up on headphones, and then my boss allowed me to work from home one day a week, which was amazing and a real game changer. And now, of course, so many people are working from home. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the earmuffs, and then I'm going to show you the other things. Okay, so these are the earmuffs that I just picked up on Amazon.com. The manufacturer is ProCase, and the reason I picked these up is I looked on Amazon for the ones I could find was the highest NRR. NRR stands for noise reduction ratio. So that's basically the number of decibels that these things are supposed to dampen down. Now, the advantage of these is that they do actually work really well. I'm going to put them on in a second and you can see the disadvantage, which is that they look ridiculous because these are intended for people on shooting ranges, and I can actually hear my own voice pretty well because I think the audio is conducted through your jaw, but the outside world is really muffled. So these are not super expensive. A decent pair are like $20-$30. And I've also picked up like $5 pairs from the hardware DIY store. And I can say that if you're going to be using these regularly, like for studying or work, it's worth spending the extra $20 because these ones just feel a lot more effective as well as a well-built product. And they do compact a little bit. Obviously, they're a bit bulky, but these could certainly go into a backpack if you were trying to use them to study in the library. The second solution I have to offer is, of course, or that I use and have to offer really, is earplugs. So these are, just kind of made by 3Arm or one of those industrial safety companies. And my recommendation is because these things are very easy to misplace, and most of them are single use, or if they're not single use, you're only supposed to use them like 3 or 4 times maximum, is to buy them in like these 50 or 100 packs. You can find them on Amazon. They'll have them in big boxes. I don't know who they're supposed to be selling to. Maybe it's like some managing a whole bunch of people working on a building site. But in any event, you can buy them in 50 or 100 packs. So get a stock, and those work well. You can, of course, double up, so you can have your earplugs in and then your earmuffs on top of that. But, I only would kind of do that in the most extenuating circumstance. You had to block out a lot of noise. And in general, while the advantage of these earplugs is they're a lot more discreet than the earmuffs. So I'm not sure I would ever go to a coffee shop and throw on a pair of earmuffs. Although if you have much less self-consciousness than me, then go ahead and do that. but they are definitely a lot more sort of attention grabbing. Another option is, of course, in the realm of headphones, and I do have a couple of really specific recommendations or products I love here. The first are these things called, I'm trying not to show them too clearly because I need a bit of a clean. I haven't used them in a while. These are called Etymotic IEMs. The company is called Etymotic. I'll put it up on the screen, but it's Etymotic. And basically, a lot of folks, when they're looking to block out noise, look for ANC, active noise cancellation, without really thinking about it. Now, I've explained this in another video, but basically ANC works amazingly well on airplanes. In fact, when I was flying yesterday, I had my ANC headphones on and they really did a great job. And that's because ANC works by listening to a frequency and then playing an opposing frequency so you don't hear it. Unfortunately, human conversation fluctuates all the time in frequency, so ANC isn't really a great technology. Passive noise isolation, on the other hand, blocks noise by physically blocking your ear canal so that the sound doesn't get in mostly. So when you're looking at passive noise isolation, the best in-ear ones are these products by Etymotic. They're actually intended for musicians, but anybody can buy them. And they do take a bit of getting used to. They kind of go really far into your ear canal, but trust me, they work really well. So that's another option. And because they're headphones, you have the option, if just having them in your ear doesn't block out enough noise, you can stream white noise or brain.fm, or if you don't find music distracting, you can put that on as well. So you actually kind of have more options if you're using that type of earphone. The final thing on my show and tell, folks, is if you prefer over-ear headphones, I have one other recommendation. The one I have is the Sennheiser H20 Pro. I actually found these by posting on Reddit and asking the Reddit headphone community if there are any headphones people knew of that were over the ear, but which had really good passive isolation, and people recommended these headphones from Sennheiser. These are actually amazing headphones. I use them literally every day for editing video, and they're actually intended for that purpose. They're kind of studio headphones, and they don't look maybe quite as ridiculous as the ear muffs, but they are kind of still big, and they give you that kind of very radio DJ in the studio look. But again, they do offer good passive isolation and can be very helpful if you're struggling with sound sensitivity and trying to block out noise. Do these work as well as the Etymotics? I would actually say Etymotics work better than these for passive noise isolation, just because the Etymotics really get into your ear canal physically, whereas these are just it's just less effective. I don't think they block quite as much outside noise as the Etymotics do. The final thing in the show and tell, and I think I already said final thing, but final thing is a white noise generator. The one I have is the Lectrofan, although there are tons and tons of these on the market. And the use for this basically is sound masking. So these are all we're talking about, ways to block sound. Another option you can take is to mask the sound. So if you have like construction going on outside your window, or again, a lot of people chatting throughout the day, and you're finding that super distracting, you can put on a bit of white noise to drown that out. And if that's not enough for you, you can double up by putting on your earphones, ear muffs, or whatever. People might be listening to this thinking, wouldn't it be a lot easier to just deal with the problem at its source than invest in all these white noise machines and headphones? And I would say that sounds very, very smart, but it's not necessarily that easy. It can, if you do have this kind of sensitivity and sensory issues regarding sound. So far, I haven't found of any quick or easy treatment options. I'm not saying they aren't out there. I just haven't encountered them yet. And certainly if you're trying to look for those, but need a sort of temporary solution for your sound sensitivity, and you need to be productive at work in a potentially noisy environment, whether that's at work in an office or work at home, then these are all, I think, pretty good options. Hope this helps someone out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.